Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to discuss on some interesting updates. We start with Ansu Fati, whose future remains uncertain as Arsenal and Tottenham continue to push for the 35 million rated Barca attacker. We are going to discuss on that as we progress. Then, secondly, talking about Pablo Gavi as the homegrown prodigy does not want to be the fifth choice in his position under Xavi. We are also going to be discussing more on that. So, as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. In light of monetary constraints and increasing competition within the squad, Barca are compelled to make certain sacrifices in the market before the window officially slams shut. Ansu Fati has been one of Barca players who has been constantly linked with a move away from Catalonia, with a cloud of uncertainty looming over his future as things stand. Owing to the player's dwindling game time and reduced importance in Xavi's plans, the possibility of seeing Fati's exit materialize this summer is certainly not far off. The Spanish sensation stance has always been very clear. Fati wants to stay, he wants to climb his way back to the pecking order in Xavi's um, team. However, Barca's insistence on offloading Ansu this summer has sparked a great deal of interest from foreign clubs. Adrian Sanchez has come out with a report saying that Arsenal and Tottenham are following the evolution of Fati's case already to potentially pounce if he decides to close his chapter at Barca for good. So the player's agent George Mendes has reportedly also received a number of formal offers for the player in the past, which Fati has not paid heed to, considering his desire to make a name for himself at Barcelona. On the contrary, the La Liga champions recognize that they need to free up more fair play margin to register any new players that they sign from here on. As such, they remain open to listening to offers of Fati. Given the player's reluctance, Barcelona have opened the doors for even a temporary loan deal. PSG, Atletico Madrid are already said to be watching the situation quite closely, and now Arsenal and Spurs have also joined in. Fati is desperate to reverse his ailing fortunes, but if he shows openness to leave, the North London powerhouses Arsenal and Tottenham would be willing to splash some cash on the 20-year-old. Of course, Ansu Fati's future still remains unbalanced as the player, is looking at an uncertain future. With the summer window less than 2 weeks to go, Barcelona are still open to sell Ansu Fati if a good offer comes along. And as we are talking, there are many clubs out there that are interested in Fati. Fati's talent is not that kind of talent that will lack suitors. There will always be suitors for Fati. And of course, we've been talking about now Arsenal and Tottenham joining the race, as PSG are also showing interest. So, of course, Fati is a talented player, despite having a bad season last time out. Ansu Fati's future remains very, very uncertain, as Xavi does not count on the player. We saw it against Getafe last weekend, where Ansu Fati started on the bench yet again, and we even saw Lamine Yamal and Ace Abde being replaced before Ansu Fati later in the game. And of course, Fati has not been happy at all with the way things have gone for him. He believes that his performances in preseason as well as towards the end of last season has been trying to show some signs to Xavi and his coaching staff that he is getting better and there's every need for them to count on him. But from the look of things, it seems as though Xavi does not still feel convinced about the players' performance in preseason. And of course, with reports linking Ansu Fati to other clubs, for me, it is very, very sad that a player that we once saw as the next big thing from La Masia is now being seen as one of the sacrificial lambs to ensure that Barca gets some revenue, to ensure that financial fair play is in our way. Because honestly, if you ask Laporta and Co, they'll tell you that Fati's sale will bring in some huge cash, which will in turn help Barcelona to finance other deals, register some players and stuff like that. But Ansu Fati, for me, should not be the player to be sacrificed. I think we have players like Eric Garcia, who does not have proper use in this team. Let's be honest. We have Ferran Torres, who also is a player that Xavi does not really count on, as a player has not been at his best since leaving Manchester City 2 years ago. So I don't really see why Xavi will keep on looking at Ansu Fati as a player that Barca should kick out of the team. Because Fati for me is still a talented player, and I think that this season, if Xavi give that guy the trust and of course give him that confidence, I think Fati will be better off than many of those attackers that we currently have. Then on to the final story of discussion. Barca have been quite active in the ongoing market, both in the incomings and the outgoing fronts. The midfield department is where the Catalans have strengthened significantly, robbing in Ilkay Gundogan and Oriol Romeu. Gundogan arrived on a free after his contract at City expired, while Romeu signed from Girona for a minimum fee of 4 million. Both players are set to play key roles in Xavi's setup this season, which has now cast aspersions over the role of Barca's talented players like Xavi. Indeed, Xavi opted to go with Pedri, Frankie, Gundogan, Romeo in the midfield quartet in the game against Getafe last Sunday, and AS is now reporting that 19-year-old Xavi will not settle for something like a fit choice in Xavi's ranks. Xavi, since enjoying his breakthrough 2 years ago, has been seen one of the most promising and talented young midfielders in that game. He is among the players to have had the most minutes under Xavi. The 19-year-old managed 3 goals and 7 assists last season, outdoing Pedri and De Jong in terms of goal contributions for the team. Despite having had to face complications with his registration, the midfield prodigy never showed any discontent, while not paying any attention to interest from big clubs in Europe. There had been murmurs of him being offered to PSG, which is reportedly upset him and compelled Xavi to have a talk with the youngster to assure that there is no such move. The La Masia ace has always maintained that he wishes to succeed at Barca, but as iterated earlier, will not accept a reduced role. As such, the situation poses a challenge for Xavi to rotate his midfielders in such a way that none of them feels left out or less important. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.